As soon as I say quiet on set, Keith starts cracking his neck. What's up, everybody? We're gonna start off with a crack. How's everybody doing out there? Keith is relaxed. Hey, how you feeling, buddy? Oh,
Hey, what's going on?
there we go. And I have your audio up. I made the cardinal mistake like I was talking about earlier, but they got you just in time. Oh my god. How's everyone doing? They didn't hear your crack though, Keith. They didn't hear your crack, that
Oh,
means.
they saw it.
Uh,
They saw it.
uh
Yeah, I'm old. I'm old. I almost couldn't move my neck for the show.
Came for
So,
the NFL, stayed for the crack. There we go.
oof.
All right, maybe they did hear it. Maybe they did hear it. We got a
Listen,
first
I was saying,
first time in chat. We I don't even. You got to tell me how to say that name. Reggie Mc56. Reggie Mc56. I can't read. I can't read.
I think
too
it's supposed to
good.
be like Reggie McG
Hey,
56.
tell you what, Reggie. Yeah, Reggie. Yeah, that's probably that's like I said. Reading names
We're
is
going here.
it's not my strong suit. But you tell me what to call you in chat. Thank you for hopping in, Reggie MC. Okay.
Yep.
What up,
Yep.
Reggie? That's a good name to have in on draft day. Oh, it's Mitch. What up, Mitch? What up, Mitch?
Yeah, Joe
Okay.
Hunter now's out and feels to have like a weird like crack in your neck. I bet he's old enough.
We got. Oh my God! Shots fired. Um, we got. We got. What up, Nick? Everyone's in chat. Everyone's. He's firing on all cylinders. I'm here drinking coffee, and you're
No,
fire down
actually,
three.
it's actually it's seltzer,
Okay. Okay. I heard
and
the
not like alcoholic. I'm gonna
heard
make
the
sure it's Wegmans. It's
crack of
Wegmans.
the can and got excited. And, oh my god.
Mm.
But yeah, all right, here we are, everyone. Stay tuned for the whereabouts of Greg Hall. He should be joining us. But right now we're here. I haven't looked at this in a while, Keith. It is 54-51 Knicks. Really, since we started our
Oh
our
yeah,
pre
yeah, yeah.
really
yeah.
the last
I
half
switched it for
hour.
a hot second when there
uh,
was a commercial break, and I forgot to switch it back.
Yeah, Keith and I have been on the call
Oof.
for about a half hour doing a little pregame chat. We're waiting for Greg, and again, stay tuned. We're
Ooh.
waiting it in.
Me and Josh
But
Hart being all up in Maxie's face.
but yeah, we're gonna be talking 4 for 4 tonight. Throughout the entirety of the show, it's draft night. Unless Howie gets crazy, stay tuned for a pretty long one. And you just never know. These are this is like our Super Bowl, right, Keith? Like these
Yeah,
shows, these are the most exciting shows that we do. They're really the epitome of what War Room Philly is because it's just free flowing jazz.
absolutely.
And tonight we're just there's a what are they called, the dudes that wave the wand, a conductor. There we go, I got there.
Yeah.
Tonight the NFL draft is our conductor. And yeah, guys, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to it. I think I just rigged up a way to make it so chat is in my normal spot. Let me check stream real quick. Oh, we're golden. Oh no, it ran away. Hold on. Is that really gonna happen? All right. I rigged it so chat is still in my normal spot, and I'm a happy boy. But
There
all
you go.
right. Like I said, here it is. It's the start of the show. We're gonna go 4 for 4 tonight. By the way, chat, you can run it as quarterback. You guys can talk about anything, really anything you want. And especially right up here in the beginning of the show, we're gonna kind of free flow through everything. We're gonna talk some Eagles. We're gonna talk Sixers. We're gonna talk Phillies. We're gonna talk Flyers. It's gonna be a 4 for 4 show because right now we got the draft, and again we'll get caught up on that. We got the Sixers about to hit halftime. We'll get caught up on that. But yeah, and again, we'll get into why the Sixers are so mediocre. I see that. Let's hold on to that, Nick. I promise you we'll talk Sixers, but let's just start it off with a little bit of what we haven't started to show off in quite some time. But the Eagles, it's draft night, but we got breaking news on draft
On
night
draft
that
night.
has virtually nothing to do with the draft. Howie gone Howie. AJ Brown with a 3-year extension, and I'll get the details up in a second. But just right off the bat, Keith, tell me your thoughts on now we've got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown locked up for the foreseeable future. All of those nitwits on both stations that get in front of a microphone and get paid to do it should be ashamed of themselves. Um, by the way, if you want to support us, go ahead and subscribe to twitch.tv/warroomphilly. No, just, I mean, it's just like, I think, in particular, like radio hosts in like the primetime slots right now are just, they look for anything they can, and this like random vilifying of AJ Brown that seems to be going. Well, guess what? He ain't going anywhere. So you guys need to just put a sock in it. And I think this is without a doubt the greatest 1-2 combination that the Eagles ever have, and it could be potentially ever have, like will ever have, because you have. And look, someone call me a homer if I'm wrong. I think the Eagles have 2 of the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL. Is that like too far off, Keith?
No, I don't think it's far off at all. I think Howie does what Howie does, and that is locking up Pro Bowl caliber players for long team friendly contracts while also paying them the money they deserve. He is excellent at manipulating the cap, and if we had any doubt about that, and I know his longtime cap manipulating friend that he had in the office left and retired. But once the details of this come out, if we had any doubt, it'll be gone, because I doubt we're signing AJ Brown for an extension if it's going to hamstring us, because there was absolutely no need to. Absolutely no need to.
3-year deal, $96 million contract, $84 million guaranteed. So yeah, it's again well deserved.
Yeah, he is a for argument's sake top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, bar none.
Let me just go with chat real quick too. This is again, these both are from Mitch, but I'm gonna do the one in the voice that he typed it in. But AJ Brown doesn't want to be here anymore. Which is
correct. That's always Philadelphia media's asinine commentary. Clearly,
so
that is not
there's
true.
his comedy bit, which I loved, and then the sports point he makes right afterwards, which is they're a top 3 wide receiver duo at worst, and I think that's well put.
Yeah,
there's some really dynamic duos on a lot of teams right now, and these two. And you could put Goddard in there, and now you're going to put Saquon Barkley in there. Yeah, you lost Jason Kelce, and, we'll get to the other side of the ball, too, at some point. You lost Fletcher Cox, Hassan Reddick, yada, yada. Let's stay on the offensive side of the ball real quick as my ADHD kicks in. But, yeah, you lost Jason Kelce, and that is massive. On and off the field. We all know that. We all love Jason Kelce. That being said, I'll still ride or die with this offensive line. Come start of the season, that they will be maybe not the best, but one of top 5 at worst. To go off of maybe Mitch's thing, top 5 at worst offensive line, even without Jason Kelce.
Just to let everybody know, Malik Neighbors just went to the New York Giants.
Keith, thank you. Yeah, keep us updated on that. I got it on now too.
Yeah.
The
screen situation. Joe Alt went to the Chargers.
The screen situation that I have right now is I was worried about this kind of all day. How is it going to work? And my ADHD is very satisfied.
Yeah. So
Very
far in this
satisfied.
draft,
I
by the
got a
way, just
little
as a
screen right here with the draft. I got any information I need
uh
right here. I can't like I can pull up the war room within the war room if I need to. But now I got the chat here, or I got us here in the chat. Oh, it's the game on in the background. Let's
mm-hmm.
go Sixers.
But so far in this draft, by the way, like with a lot of mock drafts, this has been pretty much chalk. It's been pick for pick, going with Williams first. You go three quarterbacks in a row, and then you end up with Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, and now Malik Neighbors to the Giants. So you ended up in a position that, uh, hey, Eagles fans, a lot of talent still on the board. But we'll get there. We'll get there as we wait for the rest of this to go. So
Yeah, man. It's yeah, like I
Titans
said,
are on the clock now, so we'll see what ends
it's
up
one of
happening.
those nights where you just settle in. I got the coffee going, and you just pick seven. Let me settle down on my opinions and go back to being a host for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I have a co-host here.
Yeah.
Keith, predictions. I started to see some in chat. Um, what are your predictions, or what are your expectations, maybe if you have one, like what are you feeling tonight, like maybe if you want one thing but are thinking, and you know how my brain goes into a million different, if you
Yeah.
have one or several lines of thought tonight, what are you thinking?
I mean, as far as the Eagles go, I assume you're more or less asking.
Yeah, do they stay there, like you know, trade up, trade back? Do you have a position in mind, a player in mind?
Look, I am always a best available player type person, and we've already heard the rumors about Howie looking to trade up. Now he has more than likely deals in place for if somebody he wants falls into the right spot, he will trade up. Um, a lot of stock, what I would be putting my own stock, I should say, into tonight would be anybody the Eagles have actually put into a top 30 visit. That's what I'm looking at, because in the past 5 years, if you look at their first round, every single one of those was within the top 30. Everybody they picked in the first round the past 5 years, I believe. And I'll have to double check my own statements here at some point. Somebody will, I'm sure, because they love criticizing. Why not, right? That's what we're here for. But that's what I would be looking at. So when you look at that, there's a lot of defensive backs. There are a few other players like offensive tackle that could come into it, maybe some edge. Don't be surprised if we end up with a guy whom I really like, Cooper Jean.
Yeah. Um, yeah, as far as I could see them I could see them going up in this draft. I know a lot of people have. Personally, I don't like if moving up costs them one of these second round picks that we have. I'm kind of okay with sticking back. I think this team has enough needs and wants that they can hang back at 22, kind of play best player available. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of cornerbacks in this draft. They could go that direction. I know that would make a lot of fans happy. Um, I think cornerback could be Kool Aid has been a big
Well, you know,
big
just a few of the names off that top
name.
30 just to go with that. Kool-Aid is one of them. You got Troy Fountainu, you have Chop Robinson, you have Latu, you do have a Brendan Rice who was there, Edgerrin Cooper, which I am a big fan of. I want him, Cooper DeJean, Tyler Guyton, who was on that list, Kool-Aid McKinstry, like you were saying, is a guy that you like. That was in the top 30 visit. Terry and Arnold. You have guys like that, and many others. Obviously, I'm not going to go through them all because it was 30. But those are some of the big names that were on that list that you're looking at that you could see the Eagles picking tonight. And to be honest, out of all those people I just named, I don't think I'd be upset by any of them. I mean, would you?
Um, no, I really, again, like
It was rapid fire. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, I try not to like lock in too much on any. and no, to answer your question, no, there's none of them that I wouldn't mind. Um, it's kind of one of those things where, cornerback would be great. Offensive line, like I'm not. I know a lot of people are like don't
Titans
go
just
offense.
picked J.C. Latham, offensive tackle.
Offensive line. If you're gonna kind of go to replace one of these guys or like someone that could potentially be a fill-in or compete to start in this year's season, edge rusher or a pass rusher in general to potentially help fill the void of losing Hassan Reddick and Fletcher Cox. Like that's two major components that are not there anymore. I could easily see them going that route. I'll tell you one route I know they're not going to go. Linebacker. Not in the first round, at least. I
No.
know everyone's favorite story that we're going to kind of be following this year is Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Yeah, I enjoy the talk about that. I do. I just don't think we need another, Nakobe Dean, who we already have, which is basically what he is. So I'm good. I love the story, but nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know people are gonna hate me for that one, but
I mean, again, not in the first round. If they're getting him, he's
like
been
third,
projected
sure.
around third round pick.
I can
So,
see that.
yeah, again, he's not going tonight, but third round, absolutely.
Falcons pick is in, by the way.
I
Don't know
couldn't
who it
really
is yet.
see
But
why not. Um, but I just, I think that the Eagles obviously linebacker is still a need. It's not a big one. There's more like pertinent needs. But the thing about what you could do, maybe not for this season, but if you get one in that third, fourth round, is you start to mold them into a linebacker of the future, which really the Eagles haven't had since what, Dahani Jones, or you might want to go back all the way to Trotter Jr. Or Trotter Senior. So it's gonna be one of those things where I feel like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. this year is gonna feel a lot like Nakobe Dean did a couple years ago when people were just screaming top to bottom Nakobe Dean, Nakobe Dean, Nakobe Dean.
yeah,
And then we finally took him in the third round. This is a little bit different because Trotter is not projected in anywhere to go. Like he's more a
I really
second or
want
fourth
Edgerrin
round.
Cooper in that second round. I really do, because I think he's gonna
Yeah,
be there, and
and
I think
and
he's special.
hey, let's go and we can talk about pretty much all of that because I can tell you for sure we will not be live tomorrow. As
No,
if
no,
any
no.
of us are free, we are going to be rocking out with Native Maze. So yeah, we will not be live tomorrow.
Isn't that Saturday?
No, I'm pretty sure that's tomorrow. 100%.
Now I'm gonna have to go and check everything about my life.
So Keith's not going to Native. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one tomorrow. Native Maze, get down there at Free Will
It is
Brewing.
Saturday. Look at the Facebook event. I'm vindicated.
Okay.
I'm vindicated.
Huh. I guess I got to rethink my life then
I'm
tomorrow.
gonna say, all right, so Pinto's not going in, mate.
No, I'm good Saturday still, but yeah, never mind. We'll talk about that different time, different place.
But we'll still not be live tomorrow. That's regardless.
No, maybe we will now.
Oh, maybe we will. Oh shit!
I'll come on live
Look at
for a
that.
second.
I would say I just cursed on air, so anything could happen.
No, yeah, we do that frequently now. We're past. We're not young anymore and aspiring to be broadcasters. Now I say fuck shit. I'll say anything online in here. It doesn't matter.
Hey,
Now
you'll start quoting Blink 182
that's why
lyrics.
I almost did that and then I stopped. But no, we can say whatever we want now.
I'm actually proud of you
I
that you
keep trying
stopped.
to get
I
Greg
really
to
am.
break into that because he's like, oh, I cursed. I'm like, dude, we say whatever we want. We're not 23 aspiring to be broadcasters anymore. We're just streaming to 5 people. We're just.
Let's say
if
we
we're
do this
lucky-
for fun.
If we're
We
lucky,
do this for fun.
Hold on, what's the numbers? Oh, we're at it. Damn, I got it that on. Feels bad, man. Should have let him show up tomorrow. Yeah, you never. No, I mean I would have eventually seen it on the Facebook thing, I suppose, but life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you fast.
But again, this is what do we got? Oh, I thought the game was back on. As far as this draft goes, again, we can just think about it this way, and the whole board and the whole thing. Like there are several needs and on this team, and I've even seen people thinking about wide receiver in the first round. I think you could put that pretty much to
Yo,
bed now, unless the Eagles are going to be on some real crazy stuff.
listen,
Um,
my crazy offensive wish, if they're going to take anything on offense other than tackle, I want Brock Bowers. That's it.
Tight end, right?
Yeah.
Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Absolutely. Because it puts you in a more organic Ertz Goddard situation.
Correct.
And this is like I said, it's more because Ertz is still playing. And so will Goddard, but with kind of how
Wow.
you may or may not have to move
Wow.
with that. Is that a QB off the board?
Yeah, Falcons pick
Kirk
Michael
Cousins
Penix.
is going to have some backup or some competition.
But that's them going, hey, we know he's a project. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
at 8 though, that's pretty whack. But
yo, you paid Kirk a lot of money, so
That's-
you ain't benching him. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying.
And it's guaranteed money. So they went, yeah, hey, well, listen, we know you need some seasoning.
That
We're
franchise
willing to
is
take that
terrible.
seasoning. I'm not saying it's a good pick,
That
but that's what they're
franchise
doing.
Does not know how to run themselves. That's cute. I love
Yeah,
it.
Murph, I agree. Wow, Falcons. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Bowers is elite. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I 100%.
Should have let him show up to the show confused.
Sam Bradford walked so Kirk Cousins could run.
Or something like it.
I would say I don't know about running, but yeah. Wow, I love it. Listen, Murph, I'm not saying it's good thought process. I'm just telling you the thought process.
Are the Bears pissed right now? Are the Bears about to do that, or are quarterbacks about to fly off the board now?
Bears gonna pick a second quarterback right now.
I'm so confused as to how things transpired this way.
I feel like the Bears can get whatever they want here because they have a lot of needs as well, but not wide receiver, so you won't see one there. But then again, by Falcons logic, why not? This has been exciting. This is why I love the draft shows, to be honest with you. I really do enjoy the draft shows because some of this stuff that just comes out of nowhere and we get to react to it with people. Like that's fun.
The Bears take a wide receiver. Who is the Bears quarterback as of now?
I mean, it is Caleb Williams.
Oh, did they had the first pick too, right? Okay.
Oh, they had the first pick. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I forgot.
Look at that. Laps. It's fine. We got all worked up in the Kirk Cousins controversy here. So it happens.
So yeah, I mean, again, let's go through. We could talk a little bit. Let's go back and let's talk some Phillies so far, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely.
What have you seen from the Phillies this year that you've liked and maybe disliked so far?
So we've talked a little bit. We got to do this actually yesterday. We were hanging out watching the game. Not much of a game to watch, or 2 days ago. Excuse me, Tuesday. Not too much of a game to watch then. But things that I've really enjoyed this year. Brandon Marsh being a guy who looks like an everyday starter. They've been very outfield heavy. Excuse me for a second. I'm going to end up coughing. But yeah. Take a sip here.
Sorry, I have something in my. Remember the drop from. Oh man, sometimes I wish I just had the Bucks Radio Bucks drop or just here, and I know it's available to us somewhere, but oh boy.
There we go. Yeah, no, I'm sure Ben would be able to provide us with that because I want the thoughts and views of Anthony Pinto drop badly.
Yeah, I know it still exists. We got it somewhere.
Yeah. But what I was saying is, it's with the Phillies, I've actually had the privilege of going to 3 different games already this season, which is great. All 3 of those were Ranger outings, which was great. So I've seen the dominance that has come of Ranger Suarez so far this season, and I love it. I mean, that's fantastic. Sanchez didn't do so hot this last start, but overall, the starting pitching, has been fantastic. The bullpen has not been that great. That's the one thing that I will say. They've had bright spots and low spots. The Bears just took Odunze. I don't even know if I said that right name right. That's the wide receiver from Washington. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed Marsh. I've enjoyed Bryce Harper today doing his thing where somebody called him lame or basically washed up or overrated. Overrated. That's what it was. And then he ends up hitting that home run. And he goes, "What happened?" When he got back to home plate and said it to the fan. Like, I love that. I love that Bryce is locked in like that. So it's been fun. I think that this team had a good April. You had to have a good April because it was bad teams that you had on your schedule. I know we just split with the Reds, but overall, we've had a very good April. The only really bad spot that we've had so far was really right off at the beginning of the year with our first 2 series, and we've been all right since then. And if that is our slow start this year, I will take it because this team will only get better throughout the year. I really do feel it. I think they're going to settle in. They're going to get better. I think you're going to end up getting a nice trade deadline piece to really solidify your team in whatever spot you really need to solidify, which is not outfield at this point. So that's kind of what I've enjoyed and what I think about the team right now.
Yeah, it's been a fun. And just to answer chat real quick, and I'm gonna bounce back to your points, Keith. Vikings take quarterback. I do think J.J. McCarthy could be right here, Michigan, Greg's boys. We'll see. I wouldn't mind the pick because I don't know. I don't know that I'm sold on it, so I wouldn't mind him staying in the NFC. But all right, let's talk about Keith. I agree. I think just to answer your trade deadline thing, I think that is going to be maybe like a right-handed first baseman DH kind of candidate. Maybe I think maybe another arm could be it. I think if they do something, it's going to be like a bench bat. That's early on a need I see still for this team. Right-handed first baseman to keep Bohm at third base. We were actually talking about that watching the game the other day. I think Bohm excels when he plays just third base, and let him do what he does at the plate. Speaking of which, I think that 4-hole suits him pretty well with how the lineup's going to be constructed, once everyone's back and ready now that Harper's back and etc. How do you put a lineup without Marsh, JT, and Stout? Yeah, it's or Stott.
Scott,
It's
yeah.
Obviously the JT, he gets his maintenance days, but it's the other two, and I think that in particular Rob Thompson can fall a little too in love with getting all the righties in, like when he sees an opportunity to do it. And hey, I get it. Like, I understand the righty lefty thing, and more importantly, early on in the season, I understand wanting to get your guys at bats and your bench guys at bats and keep them fresh, keep them ready, and yada yada yada. We get all the baseball cliches. Um, but every now and then, it's like Brandon. It feels like the platoon should be like between Pache, Witt, and Rojas, and which again was another reason why I was for Rojas being not put down. I don't want Rojas killed. Let him start this season in AAA. It would have just been one less of those guys on the team, and you could really hope for one or even both guys between Marsh excuse me, Pache and Rojas, if both of them are hot, red hot, then maybe you're looking to trade Pache. But Pache is out of options. You can't send him down
Nope.
to the AAA without him having to clear waivers, and at that point,
Well,
anybody can
somebody's going
pick
to
him
take him.
up. Um,
Somebody's going to take him immediately.
so again, I'm a huge Rojas fan, but that's why I wanted him to start in AAA more than anything. Now that we're here, though, I think that those may be at times needed to be the guys that are rotated around. And, not that Marsh has to play 162 games, but when he's hot in particular, like he's been in the beginning of the season, making an all star campaign for himself, I don't think that Marsh needs to be coming out of the lineup just because there's a lefty starting. And oh, yeah, I know he's going to come in like the sixth, seventh inning, and that's all well and good, but at some point he can start the game. And, you can
Correct.
always go vice versa, too. If Marsh isn't hot, against it. Maybe you put in a righty and you pinch hit for Marsh. It doesn't always have to be, oh, now we're going to pinch it for Rojas or Pache now that, so I don't know. Again, and in particular, too, Stott. That's another one where it's like, I don't know that, like, he had, it's like, I can just copy and paste and take the whole thing over, but I know that these guys have to, not necessarily have to, but like, I know that you want to rotate them out and get your bench guys in. It's more about getting your bench guys in than those guys out. I
Correct.
think that's another thing that people maybe lose track on. It's not necessarily that he's benching those guys as much as he's starting the righties to, again, get them geared up over 162. But I do think it's good points. And there's a maxi slam. Sixers are up 68-66. But yeah, I mean, right now, as far as the Phillies go, they got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but it's been pretty good, and you need to have a good April this year. It's not that oh, the Braves are this and that, but like, you're playing the weak teams in April this year, you gotta capitalize on it. So Maxi for 3, bang. 71-66 right now. Look, hate the new baseball shirt or shit. Look, hate new baseball shit. Oh, that's that's definitely my dad. Yeah, he's can't accept any change of baseball. Look, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm
You can
on the same
you
page
can
as
say
him,
I
so it's
hate
fine.
it, but it's like, it is what it is. So deal with it and adapt, and just, you can still do a little bit of both. And it's, again, keeping guys fresh. That's not new baseball. Like, putting in a righty because it's the, like, that's been in baseball for as long as I've been alive. Like, again, keeping your bench list. It's April. This is April baseball. That's now, to your points. He was doing this shit in October. That's different. We'll complain about that in October. Let's do that in October, though. But right now, I'm okay with it. So I do have to keep that in check too, though. He was doing this in particular. I think in the playoffs, especially if they're hot, Stott and Marsh have to be cemented in the lineup. I'm okay with it, especially here and there. I'm definitely okay with it, and I'm not gonna gripe if you're gonna do this most of the time, even during the regular season. But when it comes down to the playoffs, we'll get into that.
And this is not anything new for the Phillies, by the way, trying to control their younger players with playing time and things like that to get contracts. I shouldn't even say the Phillies. This is something that happens in MLB like all the time. They really try to limit contracts to not pay anybody. You see it less in other sports, but baseball is one of them. And I hope that's not the case here. I hope that's not what it is. I hope maybe somebody's just being dumb and we get another person in there that kind of shakes them loose, because clearly we've seen how much the daycare does for this team. They're kind of we have a core of superstars, but they're the next superstars that are already kind of blossoming into them. So
yeah, Nick, I'm glad you reposted this because we got away from it, but you typed this in chat once. But let Turnbow keep going. Let Walker go to the pen or go to a 6-man. I don't care if Wheeler doesn't like it. Our pitchers get tired come the postseason.
I'm glad he said it too.
So Do you have thoughts on that? Do you want to go first on this one?
We both kind of talked about this a little bit actually the other day, and or maybe it wasn't you that I talked about this with. Maybe I talked about this. He's only really had a limited number of innings in the year. He's not really that guy that's been a full time starter day in and day out. Um, he was brought here to be the long man for a reason, and I really do want him back in that role. Um, Taiwan Walker is a guy that's meant to pitch full time, and being him a 4 or 5, I think is just fine. I think it's perfectly fine. And I think your team overall is stronger with Turnbull being that long man in your pen. I really do think that. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. I get why, because Turnbull's had good results early. Sorry, Maxi's in pain from a play, and it was somebody fell, and it did not look good. But he's tying his shoes and he's trying to get back up. But yeah, I really do think Taiwan needs to be back in the lineup. I know why people are saying that because of the success that Turnbull has had this season. But I just think that things need to slot out the way they were intended, because they were intended that way for a very good reason.
Yeah. Here's what I'll start off by saying. What I would like to have happen is a 6-man. You keep Turnbull in until someone works their way out of the rotation, and if no one does, boom, even better. But going back to
And McCarthy to the Vikings, by the way, 10.
going back to what I think more likely will happen, and what you were mentioning is, I think he's never pitched more than 75 innings in his career. He's already at like 26 or something. I forget off the top of my head. Obviously, you don't want to just like run this dude dry, to where he's on the injured list. But that being said, I think that I like. I think it wouldn't be the worst thing to even run him out 1 or 2 more starts and then work him into the pen. But what I think more likely is going to happen is you're going to go into the 5-man. He's going to be, like you were saying, Keith, kind of like a long man, maybe like Strom was last year.
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly
Like a
what they're going to model after.
right-handed Strom, and
Yes.
he can kind of be a long man and kind of work himself into leverage situations if this the moment rises to that.
And we felt good about Strom in those moments because we saw how he pitched throughout the year, and we knew that he had the stuff necessary for anything.
100%.
Maybe not as a top shelf starter, but at least as a 5 long man or in the pen in some tight situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I just I guess it's not worst. The worst case, Turnbull will be replacing Walker every fifth.
Yeah,
Fifth, with how horrendous he is. And look, say what you want about Walker, and I'm not going to defend him at all. I think that if anything, Walker has to play himself out. His contract is what it is. He's at least going to earn himself like a shot at the rotation this year. Embiid for 3.
Yeah.
So with that said, yeah, we're just gonna kind of wait and see. Obviously, Painter, he was kind of going to be potentially into that role, but we're not gonna get him this year, and we knew that even going into it. I think at some point Mick Abel could step into that role as well. But I kind of agree that the Phillies pitchers had been pitching long seasons for the last couple of years, and they plan on doing it again this year. And I'm not opposed to a 6-man rotation if you can get 6 effective starters in that rotation.
Yeah.
We got Penn State offensive tackle.
I would say
Fasanu.
Yeah.
I didn't get it right.
Shanu.
I definitely got the first name right.
Fashanu.
Fashanu. Isn't that the
Olu Fashanu?
I don't think you can say
I
that
don't know.
on air.
Somebody's gonna correct me. That's fine. It's Fashunu.
So again,
But yeah, the Penn State tackle.
Penn State players are flying off the board.
Let me tell you.
I guess I should pull Twitter up, right, just in case.
Something's brewing.
You know what? I'm just gonna do that on my phone. But we got the Broncos, Mitch's team. Mitch's team's on the board. And yeah, I mean,
This is actually a spot that we've been projected to possibly trade into, so this will be interesting to see.
I guess let me go to.
Ooh, that's not.
I see no rumors of trading up.
Okay.
Is that Lowry for 3? Okay, Sixers up 10. Denver drafts Tom Brady. Yeah. If only.
Sixers are up 10. What's the score for your Sixers up 10?
85-75.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're ahead of me somehow.
I am.
Because
that's why I've kept my reaction
even
to
the
myself.
draft picks have been coming in ahead of my internet for some reason. So.
All right. Well, I will continue to spoil your draft picks, but I will not spoil your Sixers game.
Yeah, when we get to the Eagles, then maybe it'll be different. I'll shut everybody up. I'll even feed it through for the stream.
I say because it seems like the chat is with me and you're behind somehow.
I don't know. I guess I didn't pay my Comcast bill.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Sorry, I needed a quick couple pretzels, chat. That was rude of me to eat on stream, but.
Hey, listen. Sometimes it happens.
It's a long one, and I'm like, it's 9:30. I'm like, I didn't eat dinner, so here it is. Here we are. My ice
It is
cream,
what it is.
My ice cream will be my dinner tonight.
I had Chipotle. That was my one meal today.
Yeah, get yourself some Chipotle away.
Yeah,
Billy Mays here.
Billy Mays.
So, all right, let's switch it around a little bit, Keith. We have the Flyers signing Fedotov. To 2 years, he's going to make $3.25 a year. What do you think of the signing, A, and B, the Flyers' goaltending situation in general going in the next year?
I think that there is a great situation heading into next year. I think you have a lot of young guys that have a lot of potential. Too many guys, one might argue, with a lot of potential. Fedotov, obviously, you signed. You have Urson, who played this year, and everybody's like, "Oh, Urson crapped out at the end." Well, yeah, you know what? Guess what happened? Carter Hart also did that as well. I think there's adjustment that happens when you're playing that many games in a season. We see it on every level of professional sports when you're playing what you're playing. There's just a different speed, different everything. I think with Fedotov and his contract, there's a lot of concerns because, he didn't look quite the same like he did overseas. There is a speed difference in the game with the KHL and the NHL.
Oh. Keith evaporated. There is indeed a speed difference. What that is, I think I guarantee you Keith didn't have his computer plugged in. I guarantee you guys Keith didn't have the computer plugged in. But let me do this. I'm going to freestyle what I think his point was going to be. Let me get inside. Who's got bad internet? Yeah. What's up with that? Okay. Sorry. We're not gonna make jokes about that. So I had to delete that. Don't make jokes about that situation. Um. But yeah. All right. I'm gonna finish the thought that I think Keith was going to make, which was the speed. And here's the one thing I think I saw that a lot of fans saw was the lack of side to side, the lack of mobility. Um, and I'm definitely a little concerned with that. The speed of the game is definitely not easy to adjust to in the middle of a playoff race. So while I'm not going to just be like what I saw in those few games that we saw is the be all end all, um, I am concerned that maybe the Flyers have two 1Bs. And I'm concerned that that is being. I'm concerned that that is being even overly positive. Um, Let me just text my co-host and see what the deal's going to be the rest of the night. But yeah, what do we look like on stream? Too? We're still good. We got 93, 85 Sixers. Joel Embiid with a alley oop to Kelly Oubre. It was not meant to be that way, but it's how it worked out. All right, let's get chat back up here. So okay. Wow, it's really gonna be one of these shows, eh? All right, I see Keith's back in the. Let's see. I'm still there. Wait, what? All right, we're gonna start a new. Oh, I can't. Okay. Okay.
No,
You cut
happened.
out at side to side. All right, I finished what I thought was your point for you, but now you
Yeah, I
can
would say we
finish.
talked about it on Tuesday, so I think you're good. But yeah, I feel good about this team. You know, Jonesy and Briere have been able to keep things that they need to keep in house with all the drama that has happened around this team. So really, I feel good about this team moving
Bo
forward.
Nix to the Raiders. I could be a Raiders fan.
I would say, I mean, it's.
Campaign
I
is
mean,
stepping it up tonight too. By the
you
way.
mean Bo Nix to the Broncos? You mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I messed up.
Say
But
happens. Happens. Best of us.
I just wrote. I just saw the thing. Embiid and Maxey have 56. The rest of the team has, I think, 42 points. Or I may have mixed up a couple of those numbers on screen. But all right, Sixers are still getting it done one way or another. Um,
Hey, whatever it takes.
but yeah, let's. Do you have any other like anything else with the Flyers? We kind of got cut off on that. I don't want to just abruptly end Flyers talk or anything like that. Keith.
No. I think that's pretty much covers everything. I think we're good on the Flyers talk. Just kind of chilling and relaxing, hoping for the best on the Sixers game here, and hoping for the Eagles to maybe trade up and get us an early night.
Get us an early night. Um,
No,
yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding on that. I actually like doing this.
yeah. I mean, Again, I think the Eagles are going to stay put. I'm prepared for 22, but it's moving up. We still
Ooh,
got about 10 more picks.
ooh, I'm a little upset.
What happened?
A guy I really like just went to the Raiders.
Oh, okay, everyone's ahead of me. This is frustrating. Um, what broadcast do you have on? If you
I
have
have ESPN.
it. That's a bit of a reach, no? Brock Bowers?
Listen, yes, but no. I think he's a can't miss. So I'm not happy because I like him. But here's the part that confuses me. They literally just drafted a guy last year that seemed promising, and Mike Mayer. Clearly they are moving on quickly, and that's the part that's wild to me that I never expected them to do, and it's a very Raiders pick to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's as far as the Eagles fans go. That's our first blow.
Yeah,
Um,
that he was never kind of projected to go there. So that's why I was like, whoa, all
yeah,
right.
no, as Eagles
Nothing's been
fans,
out of the ordinary until then.
that is that's our first blow. That's a guy that we had on our board. That's a guy that we've even talked about already as on the show. Yeah, Brock Powers. I mean, to your point, it's a good player. But I think they could have traded down. Maybe they hurt. See, that's the Howie effect too, though. The Raiders are afraid to trade down because they're afraid Howie's going to trade up. So that's to me. This is sometimes where when you, all right, we got to get this guy because he fits our needs. You can kind of get a little caught off guard, like I am by that. It's a lot of tattoos on that leg. Um, but but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I got campaign interviewing. He's getting the crowd.
Yeah,
90
Raiders
he's
definitely went best player available in that sense. I would say he was definitely the best on the board. Um,
best on
and
your board.
definitely on my board and on a lot of players,
Um,
a lot of people's boards. I
yeah.
would say.
Okay. No, I'm again, it's the first one that the Eagles fans got. We gotta shake it off. Shake it off. Play the Taylor Swift song. Um
Look, I'll be happy if we don't take Latu. That's I just don't want him. He almost had a career-ending injury. Please don't. Please don't.
wasn't that he's the cornerback, right?
No, he's the edge rusher. Lie to Latu. I
Was
think
that
that's how you say his name.
the I don't want to mix
He went
up
to
people.
UCLA.
I
He had the neck
But it
injury.
was like, wasn't that? Didn't he play a full season last year after that happened?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did. But listen, NFL, one wrong tackle, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, he may be fine for his entire career. He might be. Like, you know what I mean? But like for me, nah, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that risk in the first round.
Yeah.
No way.
I would just say that if the doctors deemed that he's medically cleared, then I would just. Again, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know anything about anything. But if the doctors were like deeming him medically fit, then I would imagine that he has no more or less of a risk than anybody else. But again, I don't know anything about anything. Um,
I mean,
but
you don't raise a wrong point here.
I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. I genuinely don't. Medical jargon's not my forte. I just like to talk sports. Um, I know I heard a little bit about this guy, and I was hearing that like, hey, he did pass all of the things, and he did play a full season, and I'm like, okay, like me just saying looking at the list of needs, well, edge rusher is one of those, or a pass rusher in general. um so if there's a defensive tackle could even still be in the mix, with adding some depth to make up for Fletcher Cox, adding some depth to make up for Hassan Reddick. There's obviously that. Cornerback, still a huge issue for this team. Offensive line, I think, could be out there. We now know tight end won't really be on the board. I don't see anyone else other than
No, there's no
Bowers.
reason to.
Yeah, I don't see anyone other than Bowers being worth that pick in the first round. Um, but I do think that that could be a maybe not even a day 2, but day 3 pick. Like you maybe could find a tight end on the board because you are thin after Goddard one way or another. Um, so
You're not wrong. I mean, listen, it's something you might want to address, at least a little bit later in the draft.
yeah, 100%. Um,
Sixers game winding down here. We got 10 minutes left in the game currently.
yeah, it's what do we got here for the Saints? They could go according to
Saints are on the clock. You're
ESPN.
right.
Dallas Turner. They could go Byron
He is the best available.
Murphy. Yeah, again, I'm just reading off of ESPN. Um, so.
No, there are definitely some nice choices for them. I mean, it's really interesting to see what's going to happen for the rest of the draft because it went pretty much according to schedule, pretty much up until that Brock Bowers pick. So there's still a lot of talented players on the board. And now we're starting to get into the realm where Howie can trade up, and it's not going to cost him really that much. Pretty much anywhere in these middle picks, we're definitely starting to get closer here. I mean, only 8 picks away. Ooh, as I knock my own microphone, only 8 picks away here. It'll be curious to see what kind of unfolds as we go here.
Sixers still with a 10-point lead. Campaign still on the court, which is as he throws the ball into the corner. Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of moving parts tonight.
Sorry, Campaign's on the floor, but also Tobias Harris is still on the floor too.
Yeah,
so
you don't have to spoil. Like I'm not there yet, so let me.
Oh no, he's out there with. That's nothing to say anything with what he's doing. That was just a statement that they are all on the floor at the same time.
Oh, I thought you meant they were down. I'm sorry, like on the.
No.
All right,
no.
Wait a second. I'm not there.
You're like,
no one's.
You were like,
dead.
campaign was still in, and I was like, yeah. So is Tobias Harris. So well, we got Campaign, Tobias Harris, Nico Batum, and Paul Reed are the 4 that I can see that are on the floor for the Sixers. So that's more what I'm saying, not anything with,
Smells you.
Now, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else, but yeah. Although I swear I just saw Stan Lee in the Sixers stands, but it's fine.
That'd be a wild cameo.
I mean, he's dead, very dead, so that'd be very wild.
He's very dead.
On a scale of 1 to dead, he's very dead.
He's an 11.
He's an 11.
Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Like, to go into any draft being like, I don't want them to take this position is like, it's absurd. Because if there's a player there that's a can't
that
miss,
makes sense.
especially at 22, you take it. You just take it.
They went with the Oregon State tackle, Fuaga, by the way.
Outside of quarterback, you take. I mean, all right. Outside of, I guess, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, you take the best player available because any of those.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I think you can take a wide receiver and still be fine.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a tight end after Goddard's gone. I mean,
I get it.
You're gonna eventually have to rely on just rookie tight ends, and that you essentially know that wide receiver is going to be only a third guy for 2 years minimum.
Correct. But if you listen, if it's like a Brian Thomas Jr., like I'm thinking about it, you know what I mean? Like he's a very talented wide receiver, like in the first round of 22. Like if you're down at that point, like I'd trade back maybe to somebody who wants to get that and get some extra picks for like next year or something. Like that'd be cool. Like I know I'm greedy. I think
Look,
about multiple years,
if
but
if we do this whole show and the Eagles don't take a first round pick tonight, I'm throwing a riot.
I didn't say trade out of the first round
No, I know
entirely.
you didn't. I know you didn't.
I said trade back.
I'm just saying. Um, but yeah. Let's just kind of just to like update everyone with kind of the picks that the Eagles do have. We do have we obviously we have the number one tonight, pick 22. Behind that, and then tomorrow you have picks 50 and 53, kind of boom boom right there within each other. So we'll be kind of it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow. I could see maybe one of those two picks they trade back, get into the third round. Maybe you get 2 third rounds for 1 second. If they do that, they're kind of pushing towards Jeremiah Jr. Or Jeremiah, Jesus Christ, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Territory. But yeah, you got 2 2 second round picks. You got your 4th round, 4th, 2, 3 fifths, and a 6. So, you know, it's that to me, those 2 second round picks, I could see if anything. I don't know that they're going to move up tonight. I see them staying put at 22. I could see potentially pick 53 being traded, and maybe are the Eagles trading up? Why are we showing Eagles fans? Twitter. It was weird that they just were showing Eagles fans during the Colts, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, maybe you're just showing Eagles fans because we're the best. Except for the
I
dude
mean,
that
that's
they
cool.
I absolutely hate the dude that they showed, but it's that dude with the fake Sean that's like on Instagram all the time. You know what I'm talking about, Keith?
Will you say it again?
The dude with the face paint. I call him Fake Sean.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Just, um, so yeah, they showed him because he's at every event somehow.
Somehow, I don't get it.
I think it's whatever. I digress.
Yeah, well, yeah.
My hater syndrome is gonna flow. But yeah, we got 105.94 for the Sixers. We are at pick 15, 325 exactly at this moment, winding down. As far as where I'm at inside the war room, all I could ask is when we're at like the Eagles pick, or like if Eagles news breaks, it's one thing, you guys can break it. But when it comes down to the Eagles pick, like I don't want to find out the Eagles pick through chat. I love you guys, but just like I don't want to do that. And my biggest thing with this is that we get it kind of spoiled. So when it comes down to that, I'll even like you guys can even turn it off, and I'll feed through. I think I can feed. I think I can do it legally. I'll at least do the audio. Fuck it. And I'll pull the audio up, and you guys will all be able to hear it together, except for Keith. Except for Keith.
Sorry, I'm enjoying the fact that I'm just scrolling through Twitter, and I just saw that the Falcons. Apparently, the first time they told him that they were going to do anything like that was like they called him when the pick was going in.
Yeah.
He had no idea his successor was going to be picked. It was never something to discuss for a first round pick, and I love it. I love it. I'm sorry. Sorry, I love Kirk Cousins' misery.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, can you repeat what was? I missed the beginning, but now I got you. Yeah.
Yep, he had no idea. He had no idea. That's a bad franchise. That's what that is.
You know what? It doesn't matter because all his money's guaranteed or whatever.
I mean, he's
And
getting paid. Yeah, you're right.
I,
Like,
yeah, I mean, whatever. Kirk Cousins, you just a franchise that signed him to that deal deserves whatever's coming to them because
correct.
Falcon's gonna Falcon. Can we get Kyle Pitts? Can we get him off the Falcons?
Listen, they want to trade him away. I'm game.
What's up with Bijan? Bijan for Saquon? I'm just kidding.
Ooh,
Colts pick is in, allegedly.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we're still about what, like 8 picks away, just give or take. Yeah. Let's do this. Where do we go? We've talked everything, shit, haven't we?
We really have. Like that's the thing. Like it's we're live reacting to Sixers and to the NFL draft at this point. Tell you what, let's reach out to our audience here. Let's talk about it. Who do you want the Eagles to go at this point? We're now within 7 picks of where we're supposed to draft. We want to hear who you want because you guys are here. You've been talking with us tonight. Let's talk about that. We're within that 7 picks. So let's go over some real possibilities here to fill what we got going on.
Spoken like a true host. Yeah, I agree.
That's the beauty here. We both have hosting experience. The sad part is we don't do mine anymore, and that was more breakfast at Bucks. That was a lovely time. That was a lovely time.
But yeah,
I digress as I do best here.
Edge rusher. If they go edge rusher, I mean, I don't know.
I'm good with that. Thank you.
You're saying who just got drafted. I'm talking about.
Listen, I'll still go edge rusher because here's the wild thing. Like, the top player on the board, like as far as like best available, is still there, and that is Dallas Turner. So I mean, if I gotta give up like a 3rd round pick to get Dallas Turner at this point and trade up for him, like sign me up. Like I'm in.
As I just went through, we don't have a 3rd round pick.
All right, well,
we have 2 2nd round picks though.
Give me the second round pick to trade up for him. I'm in 53 and 22 to trade up to 16. It's a little much, but I mean,
yeah. Look, I like. I can't do that. If it's a 4th round pick, maybe. Like I started off the show saying I want both of those 2nd round picks, or if anything, I want to trade one of those 2nd round picks for like a maybe 2/3.
Okay.
Me personally,
I get that.
I think that's how you get more value out with these teams.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong because having those 2 2nd round picks where they are, they're early enough in the round that they're they're not garbage picks. You know what I mean? I know they're not late and they're not early, but they're not garbage. You're going to get a quality player there in both of those spots. So I know what you mean.
But yeah, just to go back to things you'll take the Eagles. Mitch thinks the Eagles will take either a corner or offensive line.
I mean, that's a very easy slam dunk thing to say. Yeah.
The cornerbacks, there are a lot of cornerbacks in this draft. So again, you got just like going off the board, Quentin Mitchell, which I think you've mentioned a couple times tonight. Terrion Arnold.
I love that.
Cooper DeJean, another name.
There are a lot of good corners left.
Nate Wiggins, Kool-Aid. Yeah, I mean, there is still a slew of cornerbacks, and if that is what the Eagles targeted, then they're going to be able to get one if one of their guys.
I want Terrion Arnold or I want Cooper DeJean. That's the 2 I like the most.
I want Kool-Aid specifically so I can bump Kool-Aid and frozen pizza every time this dude makes a play, because Mac Miller, it's one of his finest tracks that he ever that
I mean, that is a very good track.
May he rest in peace. But that's I want Kool-Aid specifically for the Mac Miller memes. It's truly the only reason why. Like I have no other reason for it. But
That's
that
fine. I mean,
being said,
that's legit.
that being said, we do know that he can play. We know either one of those Alabama corners are going to make the league. The Eagles have not drafted a cornerback in the first round since chat. I'm going to give him a little bit. Keith, do you know this? I know this. I want to know if chat knows this without looking
I
it
think I
up.
know it. I think I know
Um,
it.
it was 2001 to give a hint.
Yep, I know who it is. I already know who it is. We're good.
Go ahead and tell us, Keith.
Lito.
Yep, absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
that's what I thought.
I feel like I gave chat enough time, and if we
It was
see
a slew of second-round corners that we picked over the past 20 years.
even Lido, we took Sheldon Brown in the same draft.
We did. It was one of the best duos you could have ever asked for.
Absolutely. And guess what? Eagles fans bitched about them every now and then.
Bitched about them plenty, but that's what we do.
So yeah, look. It's who is Lido Shepard or Sheldon Brown. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you actually got them back to back mentioned. And there is a bit of a chat delay, so I was kind of giving you guys a little bit of a wait, but can't sit there and have dead air. But yeah, R.I.P. Mac Miller, who is I got to see Mac Miller twice live. I saw Mac Miller twice with Wiz Khalifa both times back in the heydays. Back when Black and Yellow was a cool song, although was it really ever? I would argue no. Where am I? What am I? But yeah, getting back to, would we be mad if Wiz? Yeah, I know Wiz. I knew Wiz. I mean, I haven't listened. I haven't listened to a Wiz track since probably 2012. But I saw all of these people together. I saw Matt. Hold on. I'm gonna try to remember it in order because it's the best way I'll do it. I saw Big Crit, Chevy Chase, Mac Miller, Big Sean, and Wiz Khalifa all together, same stage. Back in like 2010-ish. I was 21. I was very drunk. I do remember that, or don't remember it, however you want to look at it. So if I was 21, yeah, it was 2010, and I did just date myself. No one do that math.
That's all good.
It was at the that was in Baltimore. I saw them. So shout out to that ex. I'm just kidding. We got 115, 105. Brunson going to the line for 2. That's where I'm at, Keith.
I'm only slightly ahead of you.
TLA. No, it wasn't at the TLA. But man, that was a great one. If you remembered it, I know. I didn't black out. I may have browned out. That.
Browned out.
I
believe in you.
But yeah, I mean, the Mac, and then the other time I saw Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa was at the House of Blues.
Mac Miller.
House of Blues in Atlantic City, and then I went because I was at the Showboat. Since Pops is in chat, I was in Showboat, and that's Mum's. That was Mum's. Go ahead, yeah, you're good. This is a perfect time. I'll tell a little story. Although Keith won't get to hear my little emotionalness. But the Showboat was always Mum's casino. So I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm at Mum's casino. I got to play the slots. So I put $50 into a machine. Boom, I hit for 250. Played that down to 200 and cashed out. But yeah, that was my way of knowing that Mum was still sending luck. Was because I played the slot machine for her and won like $200 or 150. And when you're 21 and in a casino, $150 goes a long way. So yeah, that was a good one. Good days. Okay, what do we got here? We got the Seattle Seahawks pick is in. I'm gonna just keep refreshing my draft board. We can start queuing in on names. Like Keith kind of reeled me in there. I appreciate that. That was a good one earlier. We can kind of keep kind of keep kind of just keeping this list fresh and everything. Here's what I'll say as far as Eagles go. Here's what I don't want to have to do. I don't want to do this, chat. When the Eagles guy is up, see what I'm doing? See this finger placement right here? Ladies. I don't want to have to do this and scroll down. I want to have to maybe even do this and scroll up looking for on the list. Like, I want the Eagles to take, as far as best player available, I want him to be within that top 10. Like, we all got the Marcus Smith PTSD, this, that, and the third, right? But let's be real. Let's be real here. Like, we don't always have to be like Howie Roseman is a god or fire Howie Roseman. Let's find some middle ground here. Howie Roseman hasn't made a reach pick. And someone out there correct me if I'm wrong. Keith, correct me if I'm wrong. Howie Roseman hasn't quite necessarily made that reach pick since Jalen Reagor, right?
That's a good way of saying it, yeah.
Jalen Reagor was how long ago at this point? That pick had to have been 4 years ago, right? Like 3 years ago? We can Google it.
Just waiting for the Seahawks pick. It's quite exciting. Just kind of seeing what's going on.
2020. Damn, I hit it right on the dot 4 years ago. So Jalen Reagor was 4 years ago. That's like the last time, yeah, because even Hurts was before. Like, it's really the last time the Eagles reached for a pick. And at least if they did, it wasn't, a bad one. Like, it's the last one that I can think of. But, yeah, Jalen Reagor was in 2020, the 21st overall pick, and we all know they should have taken Justin Jefferson. We all know that. We've been here. We've done that. But because of those mistakes, I think Howie obviously did two things. I think one of them was he changed his draft strategy up a little bit, and he's not drafting dudes from TCU that are reaches in the first anymore. You really see him make a concerted effort to
go with established powerhouses.
Yeah, in the schools that he drafts from, exactly. That topped with the other way that he made up for that mistake, and now we can really say it, is he has Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And both of those guys are locked up for at least the next 3 years. So I think right now it's okay to maybe let the Justin Jefferson thing, I don't want to say slide, but I think he's learned from it. And isn't that all you can ask in life, is that you learn from your mistakes? Looks like very good scotch. I think that's is that correct, Keith?
No, it's actually, well, it's my infinity whiskey. I don't usually drink it too much. It's so any whiskey I drink over the year, we can get into nonsense. We're in this territory. Anytime I drink whiskey, I get a new bottle. I put the first shot into a decanter that I have back there that maybe somebody saw me pouring a little bit into. And I only really do it every once in a while, empty it out, make some more room, things like that, because it's meant to continue to condition and age and blend the flavors. But yeah, anytime I get a whiskey, that's what I would do with it. And that's what I have in this lovely glass here, provided by my lovely girlfriend. It has a German Shepherd on it. For those that know me, understand that one. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely scotch. Really bourbon, actually.
You're making me kind of thirsty. Keith, can you hold down the fort while I go grab a beer real quick?
I think I can do that.
I can get a nightcap in. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So right now we're winding down on this Sixers game. Obviously, we Vikings go QB. That'd be funny to see them get a second QB. Why not, right? No, I think if anything, the Vikings are probably gonna, go ahead and get themselves something on the defense. You saw the Seahawks go D tackle with Byron Murphy there. I think we're gonna start getting a run on defense here because there's so many good prospects. I'm actually shocked Dallas Turner has not gone, he might actually be the next one off the board for the Vikings. I wouldn't be too shocked. But
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see
that's
where
the
that
stuff,
heads.
chat.
Right now we got Jalen Brunson at the line.
that'd be that'd be hot if it was Jalen Rager.
Right? Right?
um,
Right? I got him on the brain now.
there we go.
Um,
That fine
I,
Italian drinking right there, chat.
there you go.
Every now
Peroni.
and then, I just like.
Good. Listen,
You
I
know, I
gotta
know
say,
I'm Mr. IPA, but every now and then we just go for a nice crispy lager. You know, a nice crispy
listen,
Italian.
I've talked about my stomach issues, the fact that I can't have beer anymore. That's one of the beers that I kind of miss, like a nice, light,
It's every
fresh.
time I hang out
You
with
know?
shout out to Steve Clark, our very good friend, and Giants fan, friend of the show. Um, every time I hang out with him, he kind of like reminds me just how good Peronis are. And we were
They're
rocking
solid.
them. We were rocking them in Vermont for the eclipse,
Oh,
which I don't know if I talked about on stream. I probably did, but since we're in like
I got
since
10,
we're in
10-point lead, 2 minutes left in the Sixers game,
Brunson's
and
got
we are in the
36
fifth
tonight.
run.
Did I just see that correctly?
Huh?
Brunson
Oh,
with 36.
that probably is correct.
Um,
He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot.
everybody knows my feelings on a lot of those Knicks players. It's tough. I'm a Villanova guy. Seeing Brunson, seeing Josh Hart, seeing Dante DiVincenzo, guys that I just when I watched them at Nova knew would star.
Oh, there you go.
In the league,
They did
man.
take him. I did say that's a possibility. Vikings took Dallas Turner finally, top player off the board.
Oof.
Yeah, fouls.
We got. I need a different.
Like, have I told you how much I actually do enjoy Nick Nurse as the coach? Now I know I was kind of against him, and I'm gonna take my comeuppance on that one. I said I wasn't necessarily for it at the beginning, and yeah, I'm gonna eat that one. I'm gonna eat that one hard. I'm gonna say it on air.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with the. I know this team went through a lot this year. I'm very disappointed in having to play in the play-in. I'm very disappointed in the 7 seed. I'm disappointed in the fact that we're down 0-2. That being said, this isn't going to be. If the Sixers lose in this round, I will be screaming and shouting about Daryl Morey, not about.
Yeah, it has not really anything
Not
to do
about
with
Nick Nurse. I really like Nick Nurse. I like the program. Before Embiid went down, too, in particular, this team was much must watch TV. And yeah, it's just I am. I'm happy with the coach. I think Nick Nurse is preaching X's and O's to this team. I still see some bad habits though. I still see a lot of lazy passes. I still see some things that at some point these players got to get it through their head and just you know even at the end of last game, it was a lot of their bad habits that reared their ugly head. And as they turn it over.
mm-hmm.
If the Sixers
All
lose
right.
in this round, Morey's got to go. Right. Yeah, I mean, because if you look in particular, if you look at what Morey did at the trade deadline, none of it's. I mean, Campaign's having himself a game tonight. So you know, let's go to be determined. But Buddy Hield has been missing in action. I can't really. Obviously, we've been doing the show. Oh, there's M Night. I saw something about the M Night twist. I don't know if that was purpose because M Night's at the game or what. I know you were making the. I know Mitch, you were making more of maybe an Always Sunny reference. I don't know how meta you were into it on that one now. But obviously, I'm like, as it's a minute left in the Sixers game, we're kind of all just watching together and freaking out all in the same. But wow, I mean, yeah, like, all I can say is maybe hold off on your Sixers reactions until you see me. crumble or not crumble. But yeah, let's just Dougie P got to play. Hey, you guys know Doug Peterson. No Philadelphian will say a bad word about Doug Peterson. Now that he's not the coach of the Eagles, especially. um, but do you still find yourself rooting for Doug Peterson, Keith? Is that?
Oh, listen, he's a good guy. I don't know. I don't have anything against him. I think why not? Like, I got a lot to like about him as long as it doesn't come at the Eagles at their cost. I don't care what he does, and I'll root for him. Same with listen. I know this is not going to be unpopular. I root for Andy Reid as long as it's not anything that has to do against the Eagles. Like I like the guys.
Yeah, I don't necessarily root for Andy Reid, but I've dropped the hate. I respect the hell out of the guy. I think that Andy Reid could go down as the best NFL coach of all time when it's all said and done because of culture on top of what he offered, and I think that that's more than Bill Belichick can say. So I do think that, and in a way, I think if I do root for Andy, it's to beat Belichick in that battle, because I hate Belichick and I would rather Andy Reid win that battle. However, they've won enough. Enough's enough. I'm sick of it. If anyone in the AFC is going to win, maybe Dougie P can now go and take over that throne, but I don't see it happening because Patrick Mahomes is
Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, he's elite. When people were comparing him to Tom Brady early on, I was kind of mad about it. Like, how could you do that? But this dude Mahomes is just in an elite class. He in my opinion, he's S tier. He's one of one. And then every other quarterback is in a different tier behind him. And one day I'm actually going to sit down and do my maybe I'll do it during this draft. But I want to make a quarterback tier list. Like, you ever see that's the hot thing on
Yep.
At least it was a year and a half ago.
It's always a hot thing.
But yeah, I mean, it's in my opinion, Mahomes is one of one, and then it's everybody else after him. And that includes
I don't disagree with that. I think that's the perfect way to say it, because what else are you going to say at this point? He's one of the few to win back to back in recent memory, and he has 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Bengals pick is in.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for it. I got the draft up at this point because we got a commercial break on the Sixers, and it's 36 seconds, 9 points, I believe, is where I'm at. So we got plenty of people on the board here, and we could get a quality player. I don't know if I'm necessarily playing or picking Graham Barton, the center out of Duke, but the other 4, I guess. I know people talk about Xavier Worthy. I'm not necessarily on board with him. I think it's another speed guy that's just speed like Rager was, and not much else behind him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not on board with that kind of thing. I'm looking at Mel's best available here on the TV, by the way, Anthony, just to help you out.
Yeah, I got you. I got that up as well. I got you.
Troy Falconeau, Cooper DeJean, Brian Thomas Jr. I actually like all 3 of those players. I'm on board with any of those. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is a special wide receiver, so I know we talked about this earlier, but at a certain point, you just pick whatever the best talent is, and you kind of work out the rest. And I think they'll figure it out. But look, there is a random singing going on stage right now.
Here's what I'll say. And in particular, oh, what up? Is Joe Heston? Joe Heston's in the house. What up, Joe?
Did Joe pop in?
If the Eagles, Joe Heston comes in and immediately shifts.
It is mood. Really saying.
It immediately shifts the mood from a chill show to this tense.
I mean, to be fair, he is right, because legitimately,
I didn't say he's wrong. We've been talking.
The top 4 corners are all sitting there.
We've been talking,
and
about
you're at
all night. I know. I'm not, but it's just like I said. He just comes in, and now there's like this. The Eagles gotta take a cornerback, and it's like there's still.
Listen, they still got a cornerback that not a single one has been touched, because I'll tell you this guy is not a cornerback. When you look at what the phone call we're looking at, it's Amarius Mims, by the way, the offensive tackle. It's a great pick for the Bengals to protect Joe Burrow. So as Joe's going, listen, you got plenty of people that you can go with. But at the same time, you also have the guys, the offensive tackles that the Eagles were looking at. So, I mean, they literally have their pick of the crop from everybody they've looked at from their top 30 visits. I don't think there's really, other than like, I think Amarius Mims might have been in the top 30. I forget, but like really, there's nobody that you expected to see at 22 still there. So they may not have to move at all. In fact, they may be able to trade back a spot or two and pick up a pick and still go with who they want.
Yeah. If they're like totally sold on like all of these cornerbacks, then why not move back, and kind of feel this out. Again, adding a 3rd round pick would be large, especially if you're in on the Jeremiah Trotter like the plan. Adding a 3rd round pick would be much more in that realm, making that a reality. Arnold from Bama. Arnold's probably the better player. I want Kool-Aid for the Kool-Aid and frozen pizza memes.
I know. And it's Arnold's going to be the pick if we get one of them.
It's only that. And the Sixers are about to play the song.
Yeah, they are playing the song. You're just behind. But that's besides the point.
That's a huge win.
I had to be that way just once. But yeah, 125, 114, Sixers win it. A huge win, must win. And we're looking good after that. We'll see what happens the next game. I mean, obviously they kind of have to win that to bring it back to even. And from there, it's a bunch of we'll see what happens with a new 3-game series. But it's good to see a nice and decisive win.
We got the song playing, Keith. You can't enjoy it though.
610. I figured you'd appreciate that since we've been talking about Radio Bucks noises.
Ah, man. This is a certified bop.
I love it. I love it.
2-1. The run is on. Do we go 4 straight and win it in 6?
Maybe. Be pretty good.
Joel Embiid with 50 points, casually.
Just casually, 50 points. You know, close to half your total there.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I'm actually going to bring up the box score here now for the Sixers, so we can go over that a little bit. We got the box score in here. From your Sixers here, you have yourself your starting 5, I guess, here with Kelly Oubre comes in with 38 minutes here and 15 points. Maxey with 25 points. Like you said, Joel Embiid with 50, Larry with 9, and Tobias Harris with a stout 8 points.
Probably got them there in one quarter.
Yeah, probably. Really not much for the bench. I mean, Campaign coming with 11 off the bench was nice. That was a nice little addition that helped, but really not too much. Batum with 4, Reed with 3, and 0 from Heald. Heald only got 4 minutes though. That was the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, Campaign got his minutes because Buddy Hield hasn't even been shooting.
16 minutes by Campaign. 33 from Harris, 41 from Embiid, 31 from Larry, 41 from Maxey, 38 from Oubre, 29 from Batum. they're really putting it there. Nurse is playing who's playing those who are playing well. As my voice randomly starts to give out on me.
Yeah, it's I guess now I can do this. So I can turn the actual draft on the TV.
Yeah, I would say there's no point in having the
Turn it off.
yeah. Now we're waiting for the Rams to have their pick in, see what's happening here.
Yeah, so we're a couple picks away, and we'll just we'll feel it on out, and after that we'll give our reactions, and we can do, if you have final thoughts, anything random, we could talk about that now as well.
Yeah, because
We'll get
we'll talk pick a little bit and
we'll
probably sign off.
we'll get all of that out, and then yeah, after the Eagles pick, assuming that there's no rumors or anything else.
Here's the wild part. Like, we're really about to get our pick of Cooper DeJean, Terry and Arnold, and Quinion Mitchell. I know you want Kool-Aid for the memes. But one of those three realistically could be available for us at pick number 22. And that's as a defensive back goes. Yeah, they just took Jared Verse, edge out of Florida State. The Eagles, oh my God. I mean, the Eagles really get a pick of who they want. They're going to get one of the best defensive backs in the draft and be able to use them. I'm still looking for Cooper DeJean or Terry and Arnold. I know Quinion Mitchell is very, very good. But those are the two that I'm looking. I really like Cooper DeJean for the versatility, so I'm really hoping for him. Now that we're getting into specifics. And trading, okay. Reggie McG with 56 thoughts on trading a later pick for T. Higgins. I mean, sure. Sure. Why wouldn't you? When your deal kind of thing, have him as your third wide out. I don't know why he would want to come here or anything like that, or if he would be very happy. But I would. Yeah, sure. I mean, a late round pick for somebody as good as that. I'm in.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it being too realistic.
It's not.
Again, like as a Madden player, sure. But I just think that I think the wide receiving room is set right now. You might get a draft pick here like later in the draft for a guy, but they're in on their top two guys. And then you saw they made the a couple minor moves for guys that are going to compete to be that third. I think that's the NFL is a capped league, so you can only spend so much money, and you got your quarterback, you got a running back. Like, there's only so much money to go around that I think Higgins is going to be looking for a new deal wherever he goes. I don't know how happy he would be to come here and just be a number 3 on a 1-year deal. However, yes, it would be nice. It would be a great move. Like just schematics wise and talking from a sense of like thinking about it like Madden or something. But yeah, I don't necessarily see that. I don't see it in the cards, unfortunately. But again, going back to the board, yeah, it really is. It's shaping up to like, I could see the Steelers taking one of the quarterbacks here, and then what do we got after that? Dolphins. I don't know about the Dolphins. I'm trying to think.
Listen, I don't think Dolphins are kind of similar in the sense that they need offensive tackle, tight end, offensive tackle, edge, guard. They could go a little bit of anywhere as well. Steelers have their pick in. We'll see what comes up soon. It's a very interesting situation that we're ending up here. I can't see the Sixers, the Steelers picking a cornerback or a defensive back period here. I know they kind of need one, but at the same time, I just can't see them investing that here, given they just did Joey Porter Jr. last year in the first round. I just don't see them sinking back-to-back years. Yeah, I know I bring a little bit of knowledge of the other side of the state too, because I really wanted Joey Porter Jr. Last year, but I'm not complaining about anybody we picked from last year, obviously. I'm ready though. I'm ready for the Eagles pick to be somebody in that defensive back situation or a linebacker if there really is. I mean, obviously you have your pick of that, but I think you got to pick a corner at this point since none of them have come off the board to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have the Steelers, Miami. Even if both of them take, you know, Mitchell and Arnold, you still have. You would still have Wiggins, like it's.
Eugene.
You got to move down a little bit though.
I think that Gene's worth the pick at 22.
Yeah, yeah.
But
no, I meant move back on as far as the best available. I had to do this to move down thing, but no.
Oh, okay. I follow you now. Picking up what you're putting down.
But as far as I mean, in theory, 3 cornerbacks could go back to back to back here. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I could see the Steelers making one of them though. Just defensive heavy team. ESPN has them taking Graham Barton from Duke, the center.
We'll see.
Like it says best fit.
Oh,
I'm not saying that's like
yeah, best fit. That's what I'm like, we'll see. Listen, I would love it because that just means at this point we literally will have anybody we want for the most part other than one person, which is just huge. When you're looking at your draft board and literally Brock Bowers is the only person who probably was on there that was like a lit. I mean, Laitu was obviously somebody else that they brought in for a visit, but I'm looking here and like legitimately nobody on this draft board was anybody they were even looking at because they were like, we're either not going to have a chance at them or, we're not interested. But Laitu is really the only one that's like, him and Mims are the only two that I should say that were even in the top 30 visits, which is absolutely disgusting for the Eagles when it comes down to that, because that means they're like, these are the people we're looking at. And you have 28 of your 30 choices that you liked for your first round pick. You did something right, or maybe vastly wrong, but I'm going to be positive.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on the Steelers pick. It's allegedly in. Yeah. Big Sixers win. 2-1. 2-1 in the series. That's what are we? Sunday's the next game.
I'm sorry, said it again. I'm arguing with Joe in chat.
Sunday is the next Sixers game, I believe, right?
No, I think we have a game before that. I think I want to say it's either Friday or Saturday. Actually, I don't think it's Sunday.
Tomorrow's Friday. It's not back to back in a playoff. So.
No, you're right. It's Sunday, which is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, get space between playoff games. Basketball's
dumb.
No, it's not an easy sport to play back to back.
I would argue that, hockey only has one game in between at times.
I would argue that hockey players are on the ice for 32 seconds at a time, whereas Joel Embiid was out there for 40 minutes tonight. Like, I get, like, it's so different. It's not, like...
Very different, because
the NBA... like, by the way, the more games and the more rest that Embiid gets, the better for the Sixers. So it's weird that people want Like I see it in chat too. Like it's weird that you guys
This
want
is
the game to
nothing
be
new for me, though.
sooner.
I hate the spacing that the NBA has in general. I think it's insane because they do this throughout the season where there's back-to-back nights all the time. There's a game in like a day in between at most with games, and then they change up in the playoffs. And I think it's drawn out just for ratings. And that's it. That's just my opinion.
It's drawn out so that because benches get shortened up, you go from a 12, 11 man bench to a 7, 8 man bench, and
Yeah,
your
I
stars are
that
playing a lot more minutes. And the fact that you give them more space in between allows your best players to be on the court for more.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We disagree on that. That's okay. Troy Fountain is the one that went for the Steelers, by the way, at 20. So now we have literally almost everybody that the Eagles could want.
Yeah, so everyone will be pissed off when the Eagles don't take a don't take a draft. But at this point, guys, all I ask is chat. Don't just. In fact, I'm just gonna ignore. I'll wait one more like a couple more minutes, but
You're probably good
I'm gonna
to
put
ignore that.
chat. I'm gonna put chat away, and then I'm just gonna turn
Put chat in a
my
box.
TV up so you can
Put
even.
chat in a box.
I'm just gonna put them away so I can't see chat after once the Eagles go on the clock. We'll just go organic. I'll turn the TV up. You guys will hear it and see my reactions and go.
Sure, chat. I'll look at you right now. But yeah, basically, Reggie, Eagles basically have free real estate for picking a corner. It's stupid. Joe Hunter, look, we have a ceiling on our feet for MLB. Need 3 days. Yeah. I listen. MLB is a little bit different too. I'm not even going to include them in this because MLB is a lot different than any other professional sport when it comes to playoffs. They're not even in this conversation for tiredness. Dolphins pick isn't already. They knew who they want. So now we got to wait another 2 minutes for the Dolphins to tell us who it is because the broadcast, despite the Dolphins saying we know who we want, the broadcast goes, no, you're going to wait another 2 minutes regardless. Because God forbid, right? Oh, actually, they might actually show it. Nope, commercial break. I lied.
Where'd my screen go? If we are focusing on strictly cornerbacks,
I mean, Arnold and Mitchell are the two that you have to go between.
yeah, I would.
I'm going Arnold personally because he's playing up against better, competition.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't really know who Toledo plays.
4.33 is impressive though by Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean he's fast. He's fast, and he's damn good at coverage. It's the Mac, though. It's the Mac. And I understand that doesn't always mean everything. I understand that. But you have Terry and Arnold right there.
Yeah, I know that. I can tell you that, like, I'm sure Quentin Mix, or I'd imagine that his tackling prowess is maybe less than. So I know that I'm sure that that would be not something Eagles fans would necessarily love. But just for S's and G's, I will throw it out there. Like, you do still have the Duke center. Obviously, we did just lose the center. Graham Barton is right there at the top of the board. He hasn't gone. Let me update this.
Listen, Graham Barton's great, but I if you want him as a right guard, I would be trading back at this point, and I'm okay with that. If you're going to trade back and get a pick, a valuable pick for him, I'm still okay with that because you still might end up with a solid corner at some point in the second round because of how much has dropped on the defense. I may not, though, to be honest, because if I'm going to get one of the top 2 corners in the draft at 22, I don't think I'm going anywhere, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, do you feel like I'm overreacting in that sense? Do you feel like I'm being too strong on that? I know we have a strong cornerback room at this point. As far as I know, people are saying it's not, but you got to think about it. You have Isaiah Rodgers who plays outside. You know, Bradbury was god awful, but you still have Eli Rogers. You have Ricks who look promising. You have a decent stash of people. Um, so it's interesting to see this. It's interesting to see the possibility of having another top end corner added.
Yeah, you have still a lot of uncertainty, and I think that's why adding a cornerback, and in particular a cornerback where it makes sense in the draft, in a cornerback heavy draft,
Especially now.
um, I think that's why it kind of helps a little bit. Um, and the one thing that you got to remember too is that just because you draft a guy in the first round doesn't mean you can just plug him in. He's going to start every game. You know, like you want them to
No,
compete. And when you take a guy in the first round, you can't just bank because we've seen this work against us. Like you can't just bank. Oh, we're going to give him the spot. Like
Dolphins
and
pick
I
us in,
think in
by the way.
particular that this is a really good spot for a cornerback to come in because they'll compete against Bradbury, Isaiah. Like if Bradbury ends up staying here, they'll compete against all those guys you just said. Probably win out, maybe not. Um, but you know, as long as they're not winning that job because of other people stepping up, and they get to kind of uh, step in and maybe be uh, more of a developmental, and you don't have all the pressure. That being said, again, I don't think it's a lock to just say they're going to take a cornerback here just because we think it.
It's
And
it's it's
I
not.
do understand that there will be people out there in chat that if they don't take a cornerback, or even more specific, the cornerback that they want, they'll get mad. And I think that we've gone through too many drafts. We're all just too
All
old
right.
to still.
Pick us in for the Dolphins, by the way.
Yeah, I just think
Uh,
we're all just too old to still be getting mad at when the Eagles don't take the guy that you want because you think you know more than dudes that are
Chop
literally
Robinson is
being
the
made
guy.
more than like millions of.
Yeah, Chop Robinson is the guy here. Um, so now, really, ultimately, feeding into what you were kind of getting into right there, the Eagles legitimately have their choice of pretty much almost every single offensive tackle, every defensive back that they ever could have wanted. Chop Robinson is maybe only the third person off their top 30 that has come off their board. So at this point, I'm going to stop talking. I know Anthony stopped talking, and we're all just going to pay attention to this coming in because the Eagles are now on the clock.
Yeah, again, I just want to cue in on. I don't think it's. I think that this could be a trade back too. If you don't, especially if they're not going cornerback, could be a trade back. Or even, to be honest with you, even if they know they're going cornerback, um, let's say it's an Arnold. Let's say they want Kool Aid. Maybe they're going to trade back here. I'm off Twitter. I'm kind of just going to wait until we see whatever the cast calls, and it's probably coming through a little bit on the screen so everyone can feel out where I'm at. Yeah, again, for me, if I'm Howie and I'm in the room right now, if I'm not if I got one of these cornerbacks that are top tier and I want to take them, then I go here. If it's maybe a Kool Aid, or if I'm looking down at like one of the corners lower down, maybe you move back. Getting that third or fourth round, like a third round pick right now, would be nice, and especially if you're
Would be nice.
only moving back a couple spots, then we can still get out of here kind of early.
I would say, look, I mean,
Early set sail at least 40 minutes ago.
you could be looking at a Green Bay at 25 that may want to trade up and get somebody. You have that. You have that to get in front of the Cowboys and the Jaguars who traded back. That may be something you look at. It is entirely possible. I wouldn't want to go really too much further back than that. But we'll see. Roger amongst the people after his back surgery. Coming up. He's coming up. Says to me the pick, even though it's counting down, the pick's got to be in.
the board, Chapney, what can you tell us?
Well, Greeny, before the draft began, the Philadelphia Eagles did exactly what they normally do, got ahead of a market at a certain position. They reached agreement with A.J. Brown on a 3-year, $96 million extension that included $84 million in guaranteed money and meant that they now had signed in recent weeks both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith before Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, or Justin Jefferson get new deals. And now tonight, the Eagles can focus on upgrading their roster. They thought about
Man, I hate the Killers. Side note. I still don't like that song, and I never will.
I did like it, but it's been so overplayed, so I can't.
Howie looks like he's fired up. He's taking a quarterback. Holy shit.
With the Eagles minutes before the start of this draft. Let's live in a world where the Eagles do want a corner here. Lewis, which one should they take?
Down on your screen right there. Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo. Talked to Jason Candle, texted back and forth with him. I've been to Toledo before, spoke to their football team. He vouches for this kid without any hesitation. As good of a player as he is, and he dominated down at the Senior Bowl.
I like that suit.
The pink one?
I love it.
Keith's a bow tie guy.
I am a bow tie guy.
I
don't wear a tie right now.
Yeah, by the way, I got you left a tie at my house, which
I know.
Chat, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Sometimes I come formal.
And again, Chad, I'll get back to you. Anything you've been saying, I'll read. I've had you off for a while. I don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, I got rid of it, so I don't want to see it.
Can you hear like my feed?
I can, but
Okay.
it's exactly in time with mine, so we're good. Nothing's gonna be disturbed for either of us.
Yeah, like I wanted to come through a little bit for the YouTube video.
Nate Wiggins was one of the thoughts here, but I can't see him being picked. I gotta feel it's Terry and Arnold, or we are going with Quinyon Mitchell. I can't feel like it's anybody else. I mean, DeJean going would be not too shocking, but I just don't. I feel like it's one of those two that I mentioned before.
Yeah, just looking, it seems.
I hate him.
That's the guy I was talking about earlier.
I hate him so much.
No
real fan likes him.
I just it's time, man. We've gone long enough. This team has gone long enough without drafting a cornerback in the first round. It's time. You know, here I am. Oh, don't get locked in on a position. Now the fandom comes in.
Listen,
look at the board.
I'm not even going fandom here. Like, think about it. Like, the board. How could you not?
Every now and then, fandom and intelligence lines up.
Like,
and in the rare
now,
occasions, it happens in Philadelphia.
Your top 4 best available go Quinyon Mitchell, Terry and Arnold, Graham Barton, and Cooper DeJean. All of them make sense for the Eagles here, and we're good with going with a defensive back. I can't see how it wouldn't be one.
I like Mitchell based off of the speed. I won't be upset with any of them.
All right, here it is.
Yeah, let's just turn it over.
Coming from a small school, nailed the process at the Senior Bowl, went against all the big time talent, then went to the combine and put on an absolute show at the combine.
Got the green beers ready.
From a smaller school that did it the right way, that came along, that nailed the process every step of the way. And oh, by the way, he's the faster corner right now.
Yeah, you think about the true corners of Yogi Cooper. DeJean is the same. He's at 14 and 1 big board. Quinyon Mitchell's at 20. Terry and Arnold's at
All of Twitter knows right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
But we're living like it's 1999.
The NFL has gone global.
Oh, God damn it, Roger.
This past year, we played games in front of amazing crowds in London and Germany. This upcoming season, we will play our first ever game in South America, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we will be coming to more markets on a global basis soon. The NFL's International Player Pathway Program helps foreign-born players reach the NFL. Elite international athletes have an opportunity to compete at the NFL level and potentially earn a spot on our NFL roster. One of the most successful players from the program is the Philadelphia Eagles, Jordan Mailata.
Oh yeah, he's making the call from Australia.
For the opening of a new NFL academy for high school football players. To make the Eagles selection, let's join Jordan live from the Eagles
I'm good with this then.
Burley Beach, Gold Coast, Australia. Take it, Jordan.
Let's go. How good is this? Thank you, Uncle Roger. Good evening to those of you from the beautiful land down under.
Uncle Roger.
With the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Quinyon Mitchell, defensive back player.
4.33 speed.
Can't be angry.
Quinyon Mitchell is a Philadelphia Eagle, the first cornerback drafted in the first round since 2001. You heard it. Leo
Cannot be
Shepherd.
angry about that. There's literally nothing to be upset about when it comes to that. You took the top guy at the position that people felt like was kind of an issue. Really. I like it even better now that I saw Elliott Shore-Parks doesn't like it.
All right. What we got from chat? From chat we have Bleep Howie. Oh, they don't like it. What why don't we how can you not so yeah, again, Quinyon Mitchell, the fastest 40-yard dash.
He was literally rated the top corner in the draft. How do you not?
So that's cool. We're not gonna let one person ruin everything.
No, especially not him.
But yeah, again, I like it. It's a move that if you were gonna take this, you went top player available. It was between him, it was between Arnold, it was between maybe, Mims or Kool-Aid as well. But right now you know that you have a receiver who can kind of line up and go toe-to-toe with anybody as far as speed goes. And when it comes there, it really comes down to how can, it's not one thing, it's just, body control as well. And allegedly body control is one of this dude's strong suits. So, man, I am, again, we never know 100% on draft day, right? But this is a good pick in my book. This isn't Jalen Reagor, because again, Jalen Reagor was a reach. Jalen Reagor wasn't on the top of the board. I know that everyone loves to make these huge draws to make their argument sound really smart.
Reagor was a second or third round pick, and similar to oh God, who's the name I scrubbed out of my brain? Marcus Smith.
You're talking about the linebacker, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like Arthur Whiteside, you're right. Yet those were guys that he reached for. This is not a reach.
Yeah.
This is a first round talent that was talked about for many weeks, and he was argued to be the top talent for many weeks. Sidney Jones had a torn Achilles. You know what? I'm gonna stop that. Now, because clearly, if you're comparing to somebody who tore an Achilles to somebody who's been considered one of the top picks in the draft, you ran a 4.33, then there's no point in me arguing. So I'm going to stop. But I'm glad. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with what has happened for the Birds here. You're picking a best available player type pick, and it's a need. You can't really be upset.
Yeah, again, it's a rare occasion where it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. You got a guy that if when Bradbury is gone, will compete for that second spot between Rodgers and, the likes of them. It's also a guy now that it just adds a little bit of depth to that room. It adds a little bit of everything, but it also adds a lot of bit of speed. And again, in an ever-changing NFL, you now have a guy that if a wide receiver maybe gets him on the first move, he's got speed to catch up to it.
Correct.
And I think that the big thing that I think Eagles fans maybe not gonna like about this guy is tackling ability. But Eagles fans in particular find literally anything to bitch about when it comes to things like goaltenders, cornerbacks, pitchers, and the likes. So I don't get too shook. Sometimes, like, the overly defensive spots are the easiest ones to pick on. But the thing about Bradbury is, I think there's a lot of dead cap, no matter how you move him. So
Yeah, that's kind of he's going to sit on your
and
roster.
he may just end up being here because he costs too much to get rid of. But we'll see. We'll see how it happens. Howie has a way about it. Regardless of what Bradbury is, we know the team here is here. So yeah. I think it's a pretty fair move. Back to Joe in chat, and if you come at me one more time, I will mute you.
By the way, he didn't allow a touchdown of 402 coverage snaps in 2023. I don't care about what level of competition we're talking about. You don't allow a single touchdown of 402 snaps to anyone and ran a 4.33 in the 40. Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. He's rated one of the best, if not the best, in the draft.
Yeah, again, if you put words in my mouth one more time, I'll just time you out for the rest of the show, and I don't have to deal with your negative energy. We're almost done anyway, but anyone on this show, we keep it as fair as we think we keep it. No one here worships at any altar, and I absolutely get fucking annoyed when you put us in the groups of everybody else in Philadelphia.
I can't wait till they don't take Arnold here, and he's more wrong than he already was.
I want them to take him, and then AJ Brown or Devontae Smith burn him every week, and then
That'd be great.
and then he'll just act like he never said anything. Because the one thing I will say about Joe Heston is he's never once admitted when he was wrong, which we do all the time, despite what he says. So.
Oh, by the way, 44 passes defended over the past 2 years by Quinion Mitchell. So, maybe he's got a little bit of some experience. Maybe he's, able to break up passes, not just a speed too. So, but yeah, maybe it's just that.
My point exactly. He says, "What was I wrong about?" No. You were right about literally every sports point you've ever brought up in the 11 years you've been here, Joe. You've been 100% right. It's fucking amazing. And what's even crazier is that you're not a billionaire. With all this brilliance, you're not a betting guru. And since you're right on literally every sports point you ever make, why are you not a millionaire? I'm just curious.
I'm waiting for it too.
But did Dallas just pick, or was that I saw someone with a Dallas. I guess it was old.
Dallas is up.
They literally just got on the clock, but I looked up and I saw something that.
I'm just curious about the Dallas pick, and then I'm probably pretty much wrapped up at this point.
You're entitled to your opinion, Joe, but again,
it's a trash opinion.
It's like your opinion looks worse when you can't even admit to yourself when you've been wrong about things. Like, I love putting myself down, and I'm constantly talking about the things I'm wrong about. But you will just you'll say things, and then you'll just cling to the ones that you did get right, and you just go back to them like you're a politician talking about the things you did in the past. But it's fine, man. I don't know. I don't feel like having this argument. I'm just gonna time you out. You ruined.
I think it's a better thing.
I'm not gonna. The show isn't about you, dude. Time him out. I'm done.
Yeah, I think it's a better way to go. Yeah.
It's not about let's talk about Joe's takes. It's about talking about our takes. Have a good night, dude. Have a good night.
Yeah, so
one day you'll learn to get your own podcast and you do your own show and stop trying to overrun ours. I love when you contribute, but when you want to make the show about Joe's takes, get your own fucking show, dude. Do it on your own.
We're on a commercial break here anyway for the Dallas pick. I'm just waiting for that. But
Mood was so chill all night, and then Joe comes in and just immediately makes it tense, man. Like,
I do need some chill gummies.
but yeah, no, Joe's great. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Joe Heston. Chat. Don't like.
Joe
We're
cares.
not gonna.
Joe does
but
care,
it's
and we do
just-
like that he cares.
It's just a thing that like every now and then he just derails my show, Keith's show, our show, and like when he's like the audacity of someone to be like, when was I wrong? Like to think that you were never wrong in 11 years is fucking hilarious. And I can't talk to a person in that mind state. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with someone at that maturity level to be like, I haven't been wrong. Ben Simmons was trash. Like, that's like politician level idiocracy. So again, Joe, when you learn to have a conversation and to flow within what we want to talk, we'll bring you back in. We'll see you next week. But like, you gotta learn, dude. You gotta learn it's not all about you. We're a community, and yeah, you've been here the longest, but that doesn't give you free rank. Like, you're not a co-host. You don't get a seat higher than everybody else in chat just because you've been here longer. We appreciate you more. If you want, start giving us money. You can pay your way into that top speed. You can do that, but nah.
We old friends got good gummies and vapes. That's right, Joe Hunter. You offer that to Joe. Maybe that'll mellow him out.
But yeah, we're gonna do this Dallas pick, and we can start going through final thoughts. If you guys have anything else, my prediction for tomorrow is that they trade one of their twos for, I'm hoping 2 3s, but it could be like a 3 and a 4, a 3 and a 5. That's my prediction for tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? It's rounds 2 and 3 tomorrow, right?
I believe so, yes.
If they do maybe get into that 3rd round pick, who knows? It could be another Trotter in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. That being said, again, there's still a lot. Like I think there's still a need
Texas
for
taking the full time to make a
there's
pick in.
still a need for both lines, but more specifically defensive line, pass rusher. You just lost Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick. You could be going towards that side of the ball. Obviously, offensive line, I don't know that that's a day 2 thing, but you're going to probably take at least one offensive lineman this draft.
No, that's a little bit of a switch up there.
Dallas traded?
Yeah, they traded it to Detroit, so we will not see it. So Dallas is not going to pick in the 1st round at this point, is what the graphics are displaying. So we'll see who the Lions pick is, and then I guess we can kind of oh, no, they traded back to 29. There we go. They actually did trade the 29th pick, so they'll be back at 29. So there we go. We'll see what this pick is, but Detroit's like, oh, cool, we can get a Steiner pick. This dude in the lion outfit and this Dr. Seuss hat's kind of weirding me out, though. I'll be honest. I've seen all these drafts since Philly did it, and nobody's done it nearly as well.
Yeah, and we also won a Super Bowl and partied after that on that same stage.
It's true. So double the way they have not done it the way.
Yeah, I memories I'll never forget, but I worked that draft.
Yes, you did.
It was really cool.
I remember that. That is really cool.
Anybody else see the Dan Campbell fortune teller?
Why do I gotta watch like 15 million people partying before they make this pick? Am I just an old man for that?
I mean, in all reality, they did trade into the slot. Although I guess you trade in because you know
And they did say the pick is in. So like if they just said they traded in and they get an extra 10 minutes, that's fine with me. But they said the pick was in, I'm like immediately. Like it's been like 3 to 5 minutes since then. I guess maybe that's why I'm mad.
Did it take a quarterback here? They could go defensive back. They lost CJGJ.
They did.
To who? Oh my god.
I think it's him. He's crying. I don't mean that as a slight. I mean that as a like, listen, you just got your future confirmed for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess we missed out on that Dallas thing, right? I guess that was going to be their thing, but yeah, I guess we'll still do this pick. Any final thoughts for tonight, or I guess
Not really.
We were
I'm
about,
thrilled.
we were talking about what we think they're going to do the rest of the draft.
I'm thrilled with it. With what happened, it opens them up to the rest of the draft. Now they can kind of go best available player no matter what they do. Yeah, we're looking at linebackers. Obviously, is something that's kind of weak for us. But I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like we're shoring up the rest of our defense. You know, nobody's perfect on the roster, but it really means that you can kind of go ahead and pick whoever you want at this point.
Yeah, I think from here on out, again, my predictions are you move tomorrow. They'll trade one of their second round picks. I think that they'll go edge rusher at some point, probably even tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll take probably they might just stay defense for the first 2 days.
They could.
Offensive line is still potential. Yeah, I guess it's going to be one of those things where you just kind of look around at the board and really see, because again, this team is both deep and has needs, because you look around and maybe you need the heir apparent to Lane Johnson, maybe you need the heir apparent to there's a lot of you might even go another cornerback. You might go it might be another Lito Sheldon. Like it might be one of those things where they're really trying to add depth for their secondary moving forward and solidify an area of their defense that they really haven't done since 2001. So it'll be, it'll be a fun thing. All I can ask is everyone stay tuned, facebook.com/warroomphilly, and we'll take it from there. Keep notifications turned on here. Arnold did go in the 24th. So we'll see. He could be potentially better. Again, I'm not saying Quinyon Mitchell is going to be the best cornerback that ever played, despite feelings from one member of chat. But I don't think that you can claim Howie being an idiot for taking literally ESPN's best player available on the board. It's not a reach.
Nope, not at all.
It's just not. So yeah, anything else, Keith?
No. I would like to say that I'm happy with the Eagles. I love the gutsy play by the Sixers tonight. Congratulations to Embiid for scoring 50, the third center of all time in NBA history for the playoffs to score 50. And by the way, he did it with Bell's palsy. So go Sixers.
Is that official?
That's official. That is actually official.
Yeah.
Yeah, he confirmed that. Yeah, he's been dealing with a mild case of that since the playing game, which is why we've seen the weird faces from him.
That's why it's why he's been wearing sunglasses and stuff.
Correct. Correct. He didn't want to make it a big thing about the team, but he has actually been officially been playing with Bell's palsy, a mild case, as they say, but still he scores 50, the third NBA center of all time to do so. That's my final point.
Joel Hans Embiid. Love robe. It's not a robe, but it's not a robe. My dad really likes your cardigan.
He does. He does. He says, it's a cardigan. It's a cardigan. But listen, it was a robe. It'd be comfy as hell. I'm not like, listen, I almost wish it was a robe.
If it was, then it'd be certified that you'd have to be like smoking a cigar throughout this.
Oh,
robe.
absolutely. 100%. Like I think I'd be legally obligated.
So yeah, again, it's gonna be a fun one. Keeping up with this entire draft as it winds down. The Sixers, who knows? But we're not done yet. You had to win tonight to keep hope alive. Not done yet. So you got 2-1, and we'll just have to go from there. Sunday's the next game. Again, if I can maybe stream tomorrow, guys, I will keep you updated to that. But we'll get in on that. I think it's about time to put a bow on this pretty little show. With that, I'm Anthony Pinto.
I'm Keith Malashevsky.
And we are out of here.